Each player is going to get these cards that have people on them, and these are people who influence your ability to reconstruct areas in San Francisco that you're rebuilding. Each player is also going to get money, denominations of $10,000 to $100,000. You're going to have two $10,000 bills, two $20,000, two $30,000, and then a single 40, 50, 60, so on type of money, and that's going to be used for bidding. You're going to have a player token that starts here on number 30 of the influence track, and that is going to go up or down depending on some things that happen in the game. You're going to put these cards on the board that kind of determine what is going to be up for auction and how that auction is going to function. Then you're going to put these cards near it, and these cards are bonuses or special things that can happen after a particular tile or property in the area has been fully reconstructed. You're also going to take your other player marker and you're going to put it on the score track. Everyone's going to start at 0 on the score track. You're going to get the board set up and you're going to place City Hall in the center of the board. And then the rest of the area is blank, and what you're going to do is you're going to draw tiles from a bag. As you draw tiles from the bag, you're going to randomly distribute them onto the board, so your setup will be different each time. Each player is going to have one of these tokens that allows them to bid for influence in one of two areas, and on the back side there is a question mark, so that when you put them out for bidding, people don't know which one you're bidding. Each player is going to get these kind of area control sticks. It's going to kind of influence the properties you're working on rebuilding. Here's the board all set up. So here's your influence track with your starting position of 30, score point track, your board that's randomly set up. The game comes with, 12 of these different wooden sticks here. And you're going to place 4 of them around each park, and so these are areas you're not going to be able to influence, and that's going to affect obtaining majorities on different areas. So I have them on the 3 parks. This is the City Hall in the middle of the board, and then on the board there's this one tile that's worth 10 points. It's like a mayor's office or something. That is the most valuable spot on the board. There's no card that helps you surround this. You have to start surrounding it by placing influence in surrounding districts. Alright, so what's going to happen is you have, I'll do these 3 players here. The game plays 3 to 5 players. So the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to take a card off of this deck, and this is going to give you some information. Oh, and by the way, this is the round counter. You're going to be placing certain cards here. Once you complete the 1918 card, the game will end. Alright, so the card I took off the top there is this card here. So it has some information on it. It tells you how many people are going to be able to place influence in this round. Additionally, it has the area here. You're going to be able to place influence around any residential area. This is a picture of a residential area. And how you're going to bid for influence is using your special contract people to bid for influence. It has a picture of the a bunch of the cards with the people's faces on them. So on the board, you're going to want to find out where these residential things are. And each type of building has its own color values. So these residential ones are these dark green 4s. So you see there's the dark green 4, and you can see behind it there is the house. It's hard to see, and on the other side it has the picture of the house. And this tile will get flipped when somebody dominates it. So for this auction, what's going to happen is each player is going to choose one influence card, person influence card, and they're going to put it out blindly, and then everyone's going to flip at the same time. So here we have our bids. Here's the thing that people are bidding for. Everybody puts out the person working for their company that they want to have influence to obtain this property, and what's going to happen is they're all going to flip at the same time. Also, this card, you're supposed to keep it with whoever's turn it is. So it's like blue's turn, so this should be kept in front of them. Or if you want, what I usually do is if I have a player who's not playing, I just, use one of their tokens for that. All right, so here we have this situation. So everyone's going to flip over their cards. All right, so here's what we have. The blue player bid 6 influence, the yellow player 7, and the green player 6. All right, so 2 people are going to get to place influence. Well, the first person who gets to place influence is the highest bidder, so that's yellow. So yellow's going to get to place influence, and because he used 7 of his influence points, what's going to happen is you're going to go over to this influence point track, and he's going to reduce 7 spots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so as you can see, as you play influence cards, it's going to go down the track. And as it goes down the track, it's going to limit the amount of influence you can use. The highest level influence card is a 9. They range from 0 through 9. So if he were to end up somewhere down in this area, let's say at a 7, he can never use his 8 or 9 influence card because he wouldn't have that much influence to be able to use. And these cards up here, these special cards, some of those will allow you to get influence points back. All right, so he bid 7. So what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's there. All right, so now we have left these 2 players. Well, one of the things that happens is if 2 people turn over the same number, it's a void bid. So they're both out of it. So even though 2 people would be allowed to bid, in this situation, since they both happen to choose the same number, they're out of the bid. So only one person's going to be able to bid this round. Now, had green done this, blue done that, and yellow had, let's say they bid 0, all right, well, they would still be out. So they would be out of the bid, which would only leave yellow. Yellow would be able to place with a 0, and yellow would have gone down nothing on the track because he used a 0 influence card. All right, but so since yellow used a 7, yellow went down 7 spots. So now what happens is these cards go back to the player. You get to use them again on the next bid if you want, if that's the type of auction that comes up. And so now there's this card, and yellow's going to get to place one of his territory markers around a home. So he could either come down here in the home, and he could place on the borders, or maybe he could place here between the 4 and the 5 to get influence in 2 different areas. Likewise, there's the 4s up here that have the houses, and there's a 4 over here. This one has, that has a house. So let's just say he goes, all right, there's a 4, a 6, a 6, a 6, a 10. He sees there's a lot of point values up in this area. So let's just say he puts his territory marker here. So now he's influencing a 4-point tile and a 6-point tile. This card gets put here, and then a new card comes out. So what do we get this time? This time we get, all right, here only one person's going to be able to place influence, and they're going to be able to place influence in the condominium type of place. And those tiles are also 4-point value cards. So there's one here down in this area. There's one up here. There's 3 of them here in this area, also around the 6 and the 10. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the 5 areas there. All right, how we're going to bid this time is by money. All right, so everyone has their stacks of money, like I said, ranging from $10,000 at the least to $100,000 at the max. You can bid anywhere from 1 to 5 of these cards. It's your choice, however many you want to build or bid. So since the start player moved to yellow, yellow is the first person who gets to bid for this property. So let's say yellow starts the bidding, and yellow bids $50,000 for this property here. All right, so now it's up to another player to decide if they want to bid less or more than that. So let's say green comes out, and green's going to bid $60,000. So he's going to outbid the yellow player. He says, "I'll pay $60,000 to place there." All right, and then the blue player decides to make a bid. And the blue player says, "I'll bid $70,000 for that." And then, so now it goes back to yellow, and yellow goes, "All right, well, I'll put an additional $80,000. So now I'm at $130,000. And green says, "All right, I'm out of that." Green gets to take his bid back, so he's out of it. So now it comes to the blue player, and blue says, "Oh, all right, I'll get in on that." Let's see, what did he have? He had 130. So that's 110. So let's say he goes, all right, I'm going to bid 140. All right, so there's 70, 110, 120, 140. He goes, I'm going to bid $140,000 to do that. And let's say yellow comes in, and yellow's thinking, look, yellow's already here in this area. Maybe he wants to build over to get influence in this area. There's a lot of point value. So yellow goes, all right, I'm going to bid another card. I'm going to bid, whatever, 20,000 more. So I'm at $150,000. And then blue goes, all right, you can have it. So blue takes his money back. And this money that yellow bid, he loses these values. So he no longer has an $80,000 bill. He no longer has a $50,000 bill, and he only has one $20,000 bill left. Now there's ways to get money back, and those come out from these cards. But for now, these cards are just the money's going to be placed there. And now yellow gets to place one of his markers next to the condo area. So let's just say he's going to place on this side of the 10. He's going to try and get influence over there on the 10. And then the card goes up there, and a new card comes out. Start player moves to the next player. Alright, so now we have this card. Alright, this is going to be where you bid those special tiles. Alright, these special tiles are going to be bid now. And so there's going to be a possible 3 people to be able to bid, but it depends on what they pick. So the thing is, this is a 3-player game. You have up to 5 players, but you only have 3 different tiles you can use, and each tile represents 2 different districts. So when you go to bid, you're going to have to look and see where you want to go. So like, let's say yellow's over here. Well, yellow might want to get some influence over here, so he might want to bid one of the tiles that has the 2 houses on it. Or maybe he wants to, work between the 4 and the 5, so he wants to maybe get either the baseball field or the home or something like that. So you got to decide which tile you want to bid. Well, with only 3 tiles, the odds that you're going to match up with somebody is pretty high. So I'll show you what happens. So let's just say I'm going to randomly pick tiles here. So let's just say blue picks this tile, yellow picks this tile, and green picks this tile. So these are the tiles that they put out for the auction. Let's see what we got. Alright, so blue and yellow have chosen the same tile, and green chose a different tile. Alright, so since nobody chose the tile green did, green's going to get to place first out there where he wants to place his influence. So now it's going to go between yellow and blue. Which one of these 2 is going to get to choose to bid? And how that's going to happen is they also have the money symbols here. So you're going to go into another money auction. And remember, yellow just lost a lot of money. So, let's see, green's the start player, so the next player in line is blue. So let's say blue goes, all right, I'm going to bid $70,000 to place. And then let's say yellow goes, well, does this area even help? Okay, let's say he goes, I'm going to bid $90,000. And then blue comes back, I'm going to bid $110,000. And yellow's thinking, all right, I've already lost a lot of money, and my one bid I'm not going to do anymore. So yellow pulls out. So yellow takes his money back. This tile goes back to him. This money gets placed over here. It's out for now. It could come back. And so now green's going to get to place first. He has to place either in the sporting area or in whatever this area is here. I forget the name of it. So let's just say green comes over here, and he sees this area is next to the 10. He doesn't want yellow to just dominate it, so green's going to place influence there to try and influence the 10 spot. And then now it is blue's turn. Blue is going to place either in the housing area or the condominium area. So let's just say blue is going to come and place down here. Alright, so he's going to influence this 4 and a 6. And also one of these areas next to the park is already taken. So it's going to take less influence over here to be able to take control of this area. Alright, so that goes back to blue. This card gets put in the discard pile, and a new one comes out. And here we have a card where you can bid. Alright, you can place influence in any district you want. It shows all the different districts here, so you get to place anywhere. And anywhere from 1 to 5 people is going to be able to place influence. So that means almost everybody will be able to place influence. However, since we are bidding in cards, these people cards, remember, if anyone plays the same card, they're out. So if you had 5 people playing and you go, oh, you would think everyone's going to get to place. Well, if blue plays the 6th card and green plays the 6th card, neither one of them are going to be able to place because they tied up. So, randomly choose a card. Let's say blue does this card and yellow does this card and, I don't know, green does this card. Alright, so they all have different numbers, so they're all going to get to place. Now, yellow's going to get to place first, then green, and then blue. Alright, so yellow bid 9 influence. So that means yellow's going to have to go down the track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spots. Green's going to have to go down 5 spots, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 spots for blue. So 1, 2. Alright, 2 spots for blue. Alright, so yellow's first. So let's say yellow wants to get in over here. He can place anywhere he wants, so he's going to take this side of the 10. Alright, so that's yellow's turn. Now it's green's turn. Let's say green's going to lock this up. Green's going to get influence in the 6, but make it harder for yellow to get dominance here, but also maybe fight with yellow over here. Meanwhile, blue is just down here sitting pretty. No competition. He's going to place this stick here. Now, to be able to get control of an area, you need to have majority. Well, whites are neutral, so you only need to have 2 of these spots filled because only one other person could come in here and place 1 stick, and that's going to not be able to be enough for a majority. So this tile's going to get flipped, and that was blue who did that. So blue's going to go over to the score track, and he's going to go up to number 6 on the score track. And now what's going to happen is you're going to get one of these cards from up here. You're going to take one and turn it over. And now these cards, there is a reference sheet that I have sitting over here that explains what each of these things does. So let me find this one. All right, this one's down here. All right, so it says each player may take as many of his own sticks off the game board as he or she wishes. All right, and that's important because you may run out of sticks. So, or even if you don't run out of sticks, you may run low on money. And it says here, as many as you wish, receiving an allowance for each stick given out either in influence points or in checks to a maximum total of 50,000. The amount added if a player 3 wooden sticks. Okay. So, if you want to remove sticks from the board, you can exchange each stick you remove for influence points. That means you'll go back up the influence track. Or for each stick you remove, you can get up to $50,000. And if you remove 1, it's 50,000. 2, 100,000. 3, 150,000. Same up here. If you remove 1 stick, you go up 2, then 4, then 6. All right. And so let's say, so this comes out. So blue, since he built the property, has the chance to do this. And he's pretty good on influence, so he can do money. Now, does he want to get rid of sticks or influence? It's early in the game. He doesn't have a lot out there. Probably not, but we'll just say yes for now. So he's going to remove 1 stick. All right. So that means he can earn up to $50,000. So what's going to happen is you're going to take any of the money that is over in the pile and you're going to shuffle it all up. And what's going to happen is you're going to try and get as close to 50,000 without going over. If you go over that, you're not going to get any money. So he goes and he goes, all right, I'm going to take my first bill. And it's a $70,000 bill. He busts. The money goes back here. He doesn't get anything. And the card gets placed on the 1907 spot. And now we have 1 tile flipped. Once spot is filled, remember when this gets filled to 1918, it is done. He could have, is there anything? I don't even know if there's anything under. Okay, if he had flipped this card first, it'd be $20,000. He would have a choice. Do I want to press my luck? Do I want to try and get up to 50,000? You know, and if he was paying attention to what had been being discarded, he knows it's mainly high class bills. He's probably not going to get it, so he'd probably stop there and just go, okay, I'll settle for 20,000. So that is a way to get money back. And so it's going to continue like that. You're going to keep drawing cards. This one is going to allow up to 2 players to influence an area that looks like this. You're going to use your people cards to try and determine that. Each time one of these things gets flipped, you're going to turn over one of these cards. There's about 18 or 15 to 18 of these cards over here, but you're only ever going to get to see 12 of them. As you use these cards for bidding, your influence is going to go down the track. You're going to, each time you flip a tile, you're going to get the point value. If you flip this, you're going to get 6 points. You'll go up 6 spots on the track. And once this is done, whoever is highest on the track is going to be the winner of the game.